Hi everyone, Christine here from the Hollowbrook Branch, and I am here today with a new tween story and craft for you. And today, instead of reading just one story, I'm going to read to you some excerpts from books by author Jon Scieszka. This book may be familiar to you. It's called The True Story of Three Little Pigs, and it is one of his most well-known books. Jon Scieszka writes lots of picture books and chapter books as well. Some of them are geared towards younger kids, but a lot of them are very funny, and so older kids and even adults tend to enjoy them as well. Jon Scieszka's his books are often illustrated by Lane Smith, so you'll see a lot of Lane Smith's illustrations in these stories. So I'm going to read you some pieces from a few of his stories, and then we will do a little craft project at the end of the video. So let's get started. So what Jon Scieszka often does in his stories is he takes an idea or a story that is probably familiar to you already, and he twists it a little to make it a little sillier and a little funnier. So one of his well-known books is called The Stinky Cheese Man and Other Fairly Stupid Tales. And this book is all filled with little fairy tales and folk tales that he's retold to make them a little sillier. So I'm just going to read to you one from this book today. And the one I'm going to read is called The Really Ugly Duckling. You may know the traditional story of the ugly duckling who is born and is uglier than the other little ducklings in his family, and so he gets made fun of a lot. But when he grows up, he turns into a beautiful swan and realizes that that's why he looked different when he was younger and grows up to be very beautiful. So this one is called The Really Ugly Duckling. Once upon a time, there was a mother duck and a father duck who had 7 baby ducklings. 6 of them were regular-looking ducklings. The 7th was a really ugly duckling. Everyone used to say, "What a nice-looking bunch of ducklings." Well, except that one. Boy, he's really ugly. The really ugly duckling heard these people, but he didn't care. He knew that one day he would probably grow up to be a swan and be bigger and look better than anything in the pond. Well, as it turned out, he was just a really ugly duckling, and he grew up to be just a really ugly duck. The end. All right, the next book we're going to take a look at by Jon Scieszka is called Science Verse. This is a book of poetry, and it's all poems that are based on scientific ideas. So these are topics that you may have studied in school already, and he kind of makes funny poems out of them. So the first one we are going to read is called The Water Cycle. So you guys are familiar with the water cycle. Here's a little illustration in case you're not. It's how water, we have precipitation that falls down from the sky. It runs off and then evaporates and condenses into clouds and then turns back into precipitation, and that's our water cycle. So here is Jon Scieszka's poem about the water cycle. It's raining, it's pouring, for H2O it's boring. Precipitation, evaporation, precipitation, evaporation, precipitation, evaporation, evening, night, and morning. So you can see how he takes a song, a tune that you're familiar with, and makes a funny song out of it. Let's try another one. This one is about black holes. If you've ever heard of black holes, they exist out in space, and they are areas where where gravity is so strong that particles or even light can't escape from it. So that's what a black hole is. So this one is called Twink. Twinkle-less spot of black in the starry zodiac, sucking in all matter and light, turning sunshine into night. Twinkle-less, lost control, now we're trapped in the black hole. So he took the Twinkle Twinkle Little Star song and made it a funny one about black holes. So there's lots more great poems and songs in here like this. This is Science Verse, and if you enjoy this, Scieszka has another book called Math Curse that has a similar concept, but instead of science topics, it is math topics. Okay, we are going to look at one more book. Now, Jon Scieszka has a lot more books than this, and you can find them through the library if you enjoy his books and get his sense of humor. But we're going to just look at one more today, and I probably won't read you this whole thing because it's a little long, but I want to give you the idea. This book is called Battle Bunny. And what he did for this book is that he wrote a book called Birthday Bunny. And he pretended that he was a kid who was going to change the book to make his own story. So you could see how it originally said Birthday Bunny, and it looks like a kid came along and erased it and changed it to Battle Bunny. And you could see how the kid did all drawings on the bunny to make him look tough. He has a scar on his ear and an eye patch. So I'll read you a couple pages from this. So it has this fake inscription in the top that says, "Happy birthday, Alexander, to my little birthday bunny on his special day. Love, Gran Gran." And here's the title page, and you can see how he crossed out birthday and changed it to battle. And he drew himself in there. That's Alexander. And it says, "By Jon Scieszka and Mac Barnett and Alex," he added in. And there's Battle Bunny. So the first page is almost kept plain, and it says, "Bunny woke up from a night of pleasant dreams. Today is a very special day," he thought. "Today is my birthday. Today I am not just a bunny." And the only change we could see here is a little drawing of Alex there in the window. But instead of saying, "I am the birthday bunny," he changed it to, "I am the battle bunny," and look what he made him look like. Now it's supposed to say, "Birthday Bunny made himself his favorite breakfast, carrot juice and a bowl of carrot Krispies. My birthday is the most special day of the year because I get super birthday presents from all my friends and I get to do whatever I want. I wonder who will be the first to give me a present." Birthday Bunny started on his path, hopping through the trees. But here we have the changes, and instead it says, "Battle Bunny made himself his favorite breakfast, brain juice and a bowl of greasy guts. My birthday is the most special day of the year because I get super birthday powers over all my enemies. And I put my evil plan into action. I wonder who will be the first to try and stop me." Battle Bunny started on his evil plan, chopping through the trees. And you can see the changes to the pictures. So he continues through the whole story, adding to the pictures and changing some of the words and changing the story to make it a silly story about a battling bunny instead of a sweet story about a birthday bunny. And let's see, I'll read to you from the end. So the last page is supposed to say, "The animals all ate carrot cake and laughed and danced some more. Then Bunny stood in the middle of the clearing. 'I have a special birthday speech to make,' he said. 'You have surprised me with the greatest birthday present. Now I know that every day is special if it's a day spent with your friends.' 'Hooray!' shouted the animals in the forest. But he changed it to, 'The animals all battled and battled and battled and battled and battled some more. Then Bunny stood in the middle of the clearing. 'I surrender,' he said. 'Alex, you have defeated me with the greatest birthday powers. Now I know that you are the best and you have the best friends.' 'Hooray!' shouted the animals in the forest. And the president, who's up there in that airplane, he drew in an airplane. And the president says, 'Great job, Agent Alex.' And there's him, he drew himself in there catching the bunny. And there he is at the end. It says, 'It was a special day indeed.' So this is what our project is going to be based on. So let me show you my ideas for that. Alright, so the project I'm going to show you is based on Battle Bunny, and my suggestion is that you basically do what he did with this book. Now, there are some rules. Don't use library books, of course, and always ask your parents before you use books you have at home. I have done this with kids at the library, and I have always used books that we've had to get rid of at the library because they've been used so much that they start to fall apart, or they have spills on them, things that are really kind of falling apart and can't be read anymore anyway. So that's the kind of book you want to use, and make sure that you ask a parent before you start writing in any book that you have at home. Now, I have an 11-year-old son named Charles, and I asked him if he wanted to do one of these, and he did, and he had a lot of fun with it. Again, I'm not going to read you the whole thing, but he took this book called Gregory the Terrible Eater, and he made some changes to it so that it would become Gregory the Children Eater, which I guess I should have expected from an 11-year-old boy. And he changed it to by Charles and illustrated by James, that's his brother. So I'll just show you a page or two of what he did. First, he changed the inscription here. It says, "For Andrew and the goat who tried to eat his corn," but he changed it to "For Andrew and the monster who tried to eat his children." Now I'll read you the first page, how it's supposed to be. "Once there was a goat named Gregory. Gregory liked to jump from rock to rock, kicking his legs into the air and butt his heads against walls. I'm an average goat," said Gregory. Now he made some changes here. So instead it says, "There is a monster named Gregory. Gregory likes to jump from child to child, eating their legs and heads. I am an average monster," said Gregory. And he continued on. You can guess where the story goes from there. I'll read one more page. But it's supposed to say, "But Gregory was not an average goat. Gregory was a children eater. Every time he sat down to eat with his mother and father, he knew he was in for trouble." But he changed it to, "But Gregory was not an average monster. Gregory was a children eater. Every time he sat down to eat his mother and father, he knew he was in for trouble." And then we see how he eats a nice box of fingers and toes and things like that. Lots of changes to the book. So he had a lot of fun being creative and doing this. And I did a little one myself. I used a nonfiction book that is called Bugs and Other Insects. And I took a page from it and changed it a little bit. There we go. There it is. All right. So this page was called Bug Talk and said, "Insects, bug, chirp, whine, and sing. Some insect sounds have a message such as, 'I am looking for a mate,' or 'Keep out of my territory.' The next time you are outdoors, listen to the sounds of insects and try to guess their message. The cricket rubs its wings together to make a happy chirping song. The katydid above is a grasshopper that makes many loud calls. One of its chirps seems to say the words, 'Katydid, katydid.'" And I changed it to a page about aliens. So I changed it to Alien Talk. I drew a little spaceship there in the corner. And I wrote, "Aliens buzz, chirp, whine, growl, beep, and sing. Some alien sounds have a message such as, 'Take me to your leader,' or 'Greetings, Earthling.' The next time you are outdoors, listen for the sounds of aliens and try to guess their messages. The Plutonian rubs its wings together to make a happy chirping laugh. The Martian above is an alien that makes many loud calls. One of its chirps seems to say the words, 'Feed me, feed me.'" So that's some fun you can have altering books just as Jon Scieszka did in Battle Bunny. I hope you enjoyed this video. Have fun at home, and we'll see you next time.